I am Megan Michael, your host. This is Carifesta 15, Caribbean Roots, Global Excellence.
Hi there, I'm Jonathan Reid, Senator Jonathan Reid. I am the Minister of Innovation, Industry, Science and Technology. I'm excited by the opportunity to present to the Barbadian public the project that we've been working on for a couple of months now, which is a temporary pavilion in partnership with Sir David Ajay's studio for Carifesta. We're excited by the amount of entries that we got all over the world, and the win is pretty cool, so we're looking forward to it.
The anticipation of Carifesta 15 is building, and I'm here with Minister of Innovation, Industry, Science and Technology, Mr. Jonathan Reid. You came in here with all this excitement, boldness, and
You took over my office, that's right.
I would love to bring that same boldness to this conversation, which is going to be all about the pavilion for Carifesta 15 and the competition behind it. So, Mr. Reid, can you tell me what does Carifesta mean to you, one, and then two, what does the pavilion add to Carifesta?
I think Carifesta is an incredible opportunity for the Caribbean in this moment of its development to showcase its own version of cultural confidence, right? I think we had an amazing time where there's so much content being developed in the world and celebration of so many different types of cultures that we now have access to just through our hands and through social media platforms. I think there's an opportunity to just create a new wave of excitement and energy around our particular way to express ourselves, to dance, to have music, to dress, to cook, to show these things that are steeped in our cultural heritage, right? Are uniquely us, but ultimately are modern, are fresh, and unique takes on those things. So I'm personally looking forward to the new wave of artists, the new wave of creatives that I haven't heard about.
Okay.
That might be in the Dutch islands or in the Spanish islands or somewhere else that are not kind of commonplace within our side of the world, and kind of creating a melting pot where that could be displayed. So I'm super excited by that.
I'm hearing a little accent. Where are you originally from?
I was born in St. Lucia, but I've lived in Barbados since I was 10.
St. Lucia too.
St. Lucia as well?
Yes, I'm a Michael.
Okay.
Good. So have you experienced Carifesta from the St. Lucian POV?
No, I haven't. So I've been to Carifesta here previously in Barbados, but I haven't experienced Carifesta for St. Lucia. But I mean, that's a interesting framing, right? So
Yeah.
St. Lucia is 30 minutes away from Barbados by flight, but it's a completely different kind of cultural experience, even though it's still similar strains of being a Caribbean island, right? So the mixture of British and French heritage, the mountainous as opposed to flat, all those type of things gives you like vagaries that make slight nuanced differentiations between island to island to island. And so creating kind of melting pots around that, I think is just dope, to be honest.
Let's dive into the pavilion.
Sure.
Can you tell me, there's a competition going on, we just chose the winner, you are one of the judges.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what stood out the most to the winner?
So I'll give the background to it. So we're doing a series of projects with Sir David Ajay, and these are probably the largest projects that we're doing in Barbados. So we're doing, it's called Reclaiming Our Atlantic Destiny. So we're creating a memorial at Newton, which is the site of a grave site of 770 burial ground. So we create a memorial there to respect our ancestors, and also we're creating a performance center, which is actually going to be the home for the launch and the closing of Carifesta, right? So he's designed both of those things. Major projects, and they're permanent and they last forever. But at the same time, in preparation for that, we had a conversation with David around not everything in our culture has to be permanent. There's some beauty to the idea of something being temporal. That if you miss the moment of its existence, those who experienced it are the ones that carry the memory of the experience, and it's not there to walk past it every single day. There's beauty around that, which is exhibited by in London if you go to Serpentine Gardens during the summer. So we wanted to replicate that, right? So how can you create temporary spaces that are beautiful and not just vinyl white top tents, right? Which I personally have a beef with, right? So how can you create this dope temporary spaces that provide shelter, that are stable enough to last for a couple of weeks, and have beauty to them and have story to them? So the idea wasn't for him to design it himself, but to leverage his name, his brand, his reach, along with this major festival that we were doing. I just came into the role. We were hosting a dinner here, and it was literally my first day as being a senator. We hosted the event with him here, so we agreed to do this project together. So yeah, and so the idea was born out of that, and we oversubscribed amount of entries. I thought we were going to get like 40, 50 entries.
I know, you told me it's about 150,
yeah, we got
right?
like nearly 130, 140.
Wow,
a
all
lot.
over the world, right?
All over the world, 40, 50 countries, completely beyond our expectations, and just some amazing designs, to be honest.
And I think that that's a perfect platform for not only Barbadian artists to be seen, but for international artists to be seen in Barbados. So these artists can come here and also explore the country.
Yeah, I think a combination of two things. I think we live here, and obviously it's going to be based in Barbados, so you want Barbadians to deeply enjoy it. They want to feel deeply connected to it. But at the same token, we live in the world, right? So fundamentally, what you want to do things that are truly world class. You want to do things that lift the standard and inspire people. I think physically we don't have many places in Barbados that you walk past and you think of a better version of yourself as a result of what you physically saw. I think that we have a limitation of physical spaces that do that. So we need to create more spaces around that. Those spaces tend to be very expensive to do. So the idea of doing something that is within a smaller budget that can still inspire and become spaces of inspiration was kind of the construct regarding it. So how can we do something for limited budget, limited time, but it was beautiful, it was sophisticated, it was worldly, but it still resonated of the Caribbean of Barbados, right? So that was kind of the framework around the brief. And the idea is that if you're best in the world, you should be able to compete with best in the world, right? So Barbadians will learn from the experience. We will learn from people who come here. It's you want to compete on a global scale, so we obviously are going to favor things that are from the Caribbean and have echoes of the Caribbean. But if we want to be in the best in the world, we got to be best in the world. So that's kind of the construct around it.
Awesome. That word inspire jumps out to me the most, and I feel as though I'm a dancer, I'm a musician, all in one, and when I get to see different artists from all around the world, I feel inspired. What specifically inspired you by the winner of the pavilion? Like, what was so inspirational, or the winning part of the piece of this sculpture?
So let's put it this way: anyone in the top 10 that we could have won this competition, because there are some. I guess you're going to put in a B-roll or something like that, maybe at this point when I say it. But anyone in the top 10 were just incredible, right? So there's incredible concepts of Barbadian culture, some from a Caribbean lens, which is very connected to the Caribbean, and so it has like a familiarity, and others were interpreting what Barbados culture is, and they're really unique expressions of what they
gave me a sneak peek to one of them, and I'm like, wow, why did this not win? So but I hope to see it somewhere, someplace.
We're going to do a project basically with the top 3 of them that we'll over a period of time actually set the pavilions. But the winner was chosen for a couple of reasons. One, we're just doing many projects at the same time, so can you actually build within the timeline, within the scope? Can you fall within budget? One, and two, I really did think our feeling was resounding that it was definitely most elegant of the designs, right?
It definitely is elegant.
It was very refined. It was very familiar concept, but then in a way that was unusual. So the idea of shutters but being circular
feels like a modern shutter hall.
Exactly. So and it was very sophisticated, but also very simple. So we loved that, right? And the idea of showcasing what is something's familiar, but then with a different way, because you had a different perspective that was fresher and not always kind of stuck with what exists. It could be something else, right? So that was the feeling that it gave. So we're excited by it, right? And the idea is that I think in a small place we give a level of permanence to projects, and we are scared to be whimsical. We are scared to be make mistakes because things last a very long time because we're small. I think the idea of things being temporary and can evolve and could be something else and you could learn from it is kind of part of the energy that I want this to have. That there'll be another one and another one and another one and another one. So you don't have to treat it, it's beautiful, but you don't have to treat it precious. Right? So, and that's kind of the point of the framing around it.
My last question is, what story or theme should we get out of viewing this sculpture or this piece of art when we see it at Carifesta?
Yeah, I think it has to be. I think inspiration is really the word that we want to do. So I'm new to the role, and the Prime Minister gave me a little bit of a gift. I think where she changed the title to the ministry and she put innovation first before industry. Where the previous minister was the other way around. So I think the ministry should be an engine of inspiration. And a lot of the work that will be coming out of the ministry for the next foreseeable future, as long as I'm in the job, is showing different avenues of inspiration. So I think physical spaces that have kids go into it and go wow by the first experience, where you could touch it, it could be yours, you could be tactile, you could actually experience it and not treat it preciously. I think that's very, very important. I don't think there are places that inspire kids, right, to go and be loud and be themselves and break it and be able to not treat it preciously and not be chased out of it. So that's one. And then places where people can see it and feel it and Some will not like it, some will love it, and you want that, right? If everyone loves it, then it's not pushing a boundary.
Exactly.
So you wanted to have this kind of creative. You wanted to have this creative rub. So you wanted to be a space that's warm and inviting, but it's also conversational. But it can also inspire for next wave of people to say, okay, well, I could do that. That's a simple concept. Why didn't I think about it and make it better and better and better? So that's the intent. And so we'll do a lot of cool stuff.
I'm so excited. This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Carifesta 15 is all about innovation, and we're so looking forward to seeing this winning piece. We're going to end it right there.